My name is Brian Drux, and I'm the founder of YourCostCenter.com. I'd like to show you an example of how our newest feature can build a production rate and a unit price for one item that requires multiple steps. For this example, we'll use painting a door. First, we name our item. We type in new door. And then we break down every labor step that it takes to paint this door. Step 1 is sanding the new door. We will click the minutes button and enter how many minutes this step takes. We'll enter 5 minutes. You then do this for every step of labor. Step 2, wipe down the sanding dust, 3 minutes. Step 3, priming the door, 20 minutes. Step 4, sanding again, 5 minutes. Step 5, wipe down for 3 minutes. Step 6, our first coat of finish paint, 20 minutes. Step 7, a final light sanding, 3 minutes. Step 8, our final coat of paint, and 20 minutes. We have now entered all the labor that it takes to paint a new door. So we now click Next Step. Which brings us to our material page. As on our labor page, we break down every step of the process. We will list the price of material for each step, as well as how much material was used for that step. Now we give you 2 ways to enter how much material you use, either by the actual percentage of a can, or a bag, or a unit, or by the coverage rate. Now for this example, we will use a combination of both. So first we enter the square footage of our door. This will be needed when we use the coverage rate option. We then go to step 1 and enter how much a sheet of sandpaper costs without sales tax. So here we'll enter 45 cents. Clicking on the material used button, we then enter that we will use 1 sheet of sandpaper for this step. We're then going to move on to step 2. 0 material for this particular step. Step 3, primer, we're going to enter $25 a gallon. We're going to switch from the material used button to the coverage rate. And then we're going to enter the coverage rate for a gallon of primer. So that's 350 square feet per gallon. We now have that 42 square feet per the door that was brought in from up above. We're then going to move on to step 4. Back to 45 cents a sheet of sandpaper. We're going to use 1 sheet of sandpaper. Step 5, we're going to wipe down the door. We're not going to use any materials. Step 6, first coat of finish, $35 a gallon, again using coverage rate at 350 square feet per gallon. Step 7, 45 cents for a sheet of sandpaper. This time we're only going to use 1/2 of the sheet of sandpaper. And our final coat, step 8, $35 for a gallon of finish coat, again with 350 square feet. We've now entered all the material for every step of the process. We're going to click on to Next Step. We are now on the last page of information you need to enter. The first thing we'll ask you is number of production hours per day. Even though you may pay an employee for an 8-hour day, after coffee breaks, restroom breaks, setup and cleanup, you do not get 8 hours of production. Our program will build into your rates and unit cost non-productive time. So simply enter how many actual production hours you get out of an 8-hour day. Next, add the profit you would like to make on this particular item, and then add the state sales tax. When you entered material in the prior page, you entered it exclusive of sales tax. Here you will enter a blanket sales tax number. Once you click Submit, our program will start to build a database of your items. Here is our first item, new door, with a completed production rate with downtime built in of 1.564 hours. The program then determines labor rates by using information provided within your cost center. In this example, a labor rate of $36.76. And it multiplies it by your production rate to give you an actual labor cost of $57.49. Next, you will see the actual material cost, inclusive of sales tax, the completed unit cost, and finally the selling price with your profit built in. You can always go back into any of your items and edit them. Maybe the price of material has changed. Simply edit the price of a particular item in any particular step. Hit Update and see your changes instantly reflected in your unit costs. I hope this example gives you a better understanding of the power of YourCostCenter.com. Thank you very much.